Welcome to Empowered by Iron, hosted by Dr. Kristen Lander from Fiercely Fueled Nutrition Coaching and Mary Morton from M&M Coaching, remote coaching for the novice athlete. Together, we are Empowered by Iron. Hey guys, so now we're in the aftermath. Part 3 of your first weightlifting meet. So you just did your first weightlifting meet. Now it probably went one of two ways, or one of three ways rather. One is that you were indifferent. It was kind of like, meh, I had fun. It was okay. And you get back in the gym and you train like nothing happened. That's one. Another one is that you freaking loved it. You had such a high and you were so excited to be there. Everything just felt like you were on cloud 9. And the third option of what may have happened is that you fucking hated it. Like it was the worst experience of your life. We're going to kind of focus on the two of the either you really hated it or it was the best experience of your life.
So Mary, which of those categories did you fall in for your first meet?
Well, for powerlifting, I was indifferent. So I was definitely the middle. I was like, well, it was fun, but like it wasn't that fun. But my first weightlifting meet, oh my god, I had such a high. I hardly remember it. I was so high off of my meet. What about you, Kristen?
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, I felt the same way in my first meet. We talked about in the last part, my first weightlifting meet. I had competed in CrossFit and I enjoyed it, but it was, I could take it or leave it. It was a fun challenge, but I never did a powerlifting meet. But my first weightlifting meet, I was 100% clueless. I had no idea what was going on. Big shout out to Matt Bergeron. If you know him or follow him, I had no idea who he was. He was at my first meet and he took pity on me and helped me out. And it was one of the most amazing experiences of my life. And I absolutely fell in love with the sport. I met so many awesome people that I still talk to this day. I mean, it was just the most fun thing I have ever done. I honestly don't even know what my total was from that meet. I don't know if I got white lights or red lights on lifts. I kind of like had so much fun. I blacked out and don't know what happened. But I knew like, this is it. This is my sport. I have arrived.
So we both had the good experience. I've had the indifferent experience. And so today we're going to talk about what do you do next? So what do you do after you've competed? So Kristen, if someone hated it, what do we think they should do?
Well, if you hated it, I have a few things to say about that. It's like, well, now you did that. Good for you. I'm proud of you for doing it. I'm sorry that you hated it. Let's not do that again. But like, let's figure out what you didn't like about it, because maybe you just figured out that you don't like competing. Like maybe you were a total head case and just were super nervous and super freaked out and you just never want to do that again. So, okay, well, that's fine. You can just go to the gym and train hard and do it for other reasons. Like just, be competing against yourself each week in the gym, and that's totally fine. Or maybe you're like, well, I kind of liked competing. I just really didn't like whether you did powerlifting or weightlifting, you're like, I just maybe really didn't like that. So try the other. If you did weightlifting, maybe try powerlifting. If you did powerlifting, maybe get into weightlifting, or you could maybe compete in CrossFit or physique competitions or obstacle course racing. There's all sorts of things that you can compete in if you decided competition was really fun. You just didn't like that particular sport.
Right. And this is a disclaimer, like, you don't have to compete. Like, I know that it's kind of a big boom nowadays to compete in powerlifting and weightlifting, and that's what this whole 3-part series is about, is your first meet. But like, you don't have to compete. There's nothing wrong with going to the gym and just trying to better yourself every day. I mean, that's the whole point of fitness, is to be a healthier, better version of yourself.
Right, right. For me, I have to compete because the idea of just going to the gym, even though it's good for me, is not really enough to motivate me. But
Yeah,
what is enough to motivate me is to have, a coach that I don't want to disappoint, and to have teammates that I want to have fun with, and to have goals and be working towards something. And that is what keeps me motivated and healthy. And so that's why I enjoy competing, but I know not everyone is the same.
I'm just like you actually. I love the gym, but it took me a while to compete, and I kind of was lost in the gym because like I felt like I was wasting my time. Like, yeah, sure, I'm there to better myself, but is there something else I could be doing with my time that's better? But
Right.
competing and finding a coach was kind of like, okay, I have a purpose now. I feel like I've given myself permission to do it. But if you hated
That
it, that's okay. Find something else, or don't compete and just do you, man.
that's right. So let's talk about the other side of the coin.
If you loved it.
If you loved it. So what do you do? What do you do? If you loved it, you loved it so much, you're just overwhelmed with how much fun you had. Now what?
Well, the first thing Kristen and I decided you should do is either look for a barbell club near you. Something, so for weightlifting, there's barbell clubs, and then for powerlifting, it's not a barbell club, it's just like a group basically, but it's always led by a coach. So find yourself a team and a coach, whether it's in the area or remote, but someone who can help you with your meets. Now this isn't something you have to do, but it's definitely something like if you're serious about it, look into it.
Right, because having a coach um, is, even if it's a remote coach, so someone that doesn't live where you live and you just do everything over the internet, which is actually how Mary and I both have our coaching relationships, because we live in a pretty small town and we don't have the resources available to us. So we each have our own remote coach, and it works out pretty well. And I think it's awesome because it helps keep us, like we talked about, it keeps us motivated. Um,
Absolutely.
and then for me, I'm close enough to my coach that when I go to meets, he's there. And so that is super helpful, because if you just went through this process of competing on your own, whether it was powerlifting or weightlifting, just know that having a coach it does make it a lot easier. You don't have to have it, but if it's something that you loved doing, I would invest in a coach, because you're going to get better and you're going to be calmer at meets.
Yeah, what was that word? Invest?
Invest.
Yeah, it's if this is something you want to do, don't just spend your money willy-nilly and think you're wasting it. Take your time, do your research, and invest in a coach. Find someone who's worth the money and worth your time.
Right. And so then that said, either way, whether you're going to find a coach or not find a coach, pick another meet.
Pick another
Get
meet.
get something on the calendar, because you are likely so excited that you're going to go into this training cycle like so passionate and so amped up that you can really capitalize on that. And so you've got to get something on the calendar and like use this momentum in the gym. So pick something 3 months out or so, and start training for it.
Yep. It's hard.
Um,
I think that's the hardest thing coming out of a meet, especially if you don't have a coach, is to like sit on your couch and think, okay, well, I trained so hard for that. I had a lot of fun, but what the fuck now? What do I do? But if you
Yeah, I
if you
mean,
go and find and have a date in mind and a place, then yeah, you can take a little time to kind of like recoup and get yourself ready, but then you have another date and you're ready to go.
that's right, because there can be a little bit of a letdown after a meet, especially if it's something that, I mean, my first meet, I only trained like 2 weeks for it. But if you're like, well, I really enjoyed that and I want to do more, but if you don't immediately get something planned, that momentum is going to be lost, and you might just kind of start to slack in the gym, and maybe you don't pursue this. And if you loved it so much, I would say definitely pursue it. So get something planned, and
Absolutely.
then that leads us into assessing your goals. So
Yes.
we talked about not really having a goal in mind for your first total, because we just want you to go out there and have fun and experience it. But maybe you want to set a goal for your next total, or maybe just one of your lifts, maybe your squat or your clean and jerk. You want to hit a certain number in a meet. And so write that down and start going for it. Or maybe you feel like, hey, I might be more competitive. Was kind of planning to lose weight anyway, and I might be more competitive at a lower weight class. I think I'm gonna, cut to this next weight class. Or maybe you're like, you know what, I'm gonna pack on the muscle. I'm moving up a weight class. Write that stuff down and start going for it. And maybe you're not gonna hit all those things at your second meet. Maybe you'll hit them at your fifth meet, but you've got to have something to work towards.
Yeah. Otherwise, you'll feel lost.
Right? And feeling lost is a terrible feeling.
Yeah. And that, I mean, that goes back also to having a coach. You know, even if you, after a meet, you don't know what to do, if you have a coach, you have a plan. So you just get back in and you get going.
Right. And the amazing thing about having a coach is if you work with them long enough, coaches are really good at reading people. They're really good at figuring you out. My coach, Sean, who you guys heard from in the last part, he had me figured out like in the first 5 minutes he met me. I swear. He's the perfect coach for me. And if you find the right person, they're gonna help you figure out what it is. They're gonna know what you need, and maybe even before you know. And I know Mary can say that about her coach too. It's
Yeah.
it's a really great relationship. They see things in you that you maybe don't see in yourself, and they see it as their job to bring those things out in you. So, my coach has definitely talked a lot of sense into me over the last year. He doesn't want me dropping weight anymore. Doesn't want me overcomplicating things. Yeah. So,
Which is an easy thing to do, but that's why we have coaches. Anyway, so
that's right.
at the end of you just got off this high. Now you need to set yourself some goals and just fucking go for it, man. Do your thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you met people at the other meet or this first meet that you were at, stay in touch with them, because the weightlifting and powerlifting community, the strength community is just amazing, and you will make lifelong friends, I promise you. So meet people, stay in touch with them. So one of the things that we talked about too was like in this kind of letdown that can happen in a meet and in the time immediately following a meet, is that your diet can get a little bit crazy, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Week after meet, my diet usually is horrible.
So what are your recommendations, or what are your experiences with that?
To be determined. I have, so because I sit right at the top of my weight class, I've never had to do this before, but this last meet I had to. Um, I had to cut a little bit, so I just had to do like eat less the week before and then do a little sauna, and I was good to go. But for me, my body is super sensitive to any increase or decrease in calories from what I eat. So if I eat too much, I put on weight, and if I don't eat enough, I lose pretty quickly. But my body's really sensitive to that. So when it realized that I was essentially starving it, for the past 4 or 5 days, it's like, you're hungry all the time. You need to eat all the food. And so I've put on a few pounds in the past couple days.
Which is fine.
Which is
That's
fine.
okay.
It's not a big deal. I'm like, the thing about it is, like, I don't care. When you're at a meet and you love it and you're on this high, like, you don't care. Like, you don't care that you might be a little bit large. You don't care if you smell bad. Like, you don't care about anything. And I think that high kind of goes on for the next week or so. It's like, whatever. I'm fluffy and I'm beautiful. Love me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I always feel like after a meet, I like to practice a lot of self-care, right? So because leading up to a meet, especially if it's a big meet, you're kind of breaking your body down a little bit. So what I do after a meet is, so if I compete on a Saturday, um, after the meet, I eat whatever the fuck I want. I do not care. I will eat whatever I want. And then Sunday, I might eat a little bit more of whatever I want. And then usually by Monday, I'm like, okay, that was fun. And I track my macros all the time, whether I'm cutting, whether I'm in maintenance, whether I'm massing, it doesn't matter. I always track my macros. And so by Monday, I get back to that. And that's usually what I recommend for my clients. Like, give yourself a couple of days if you want to. Maybe, I guess if you want to eat a whole pizza, like, go for it, but you might not feel very good. But
No.
go for it. If that's what you want to do, go for it. And then kind of, I like to get myself back on track by Monday. And I personally like to get back in the gym on Monday and really capitalize on that that energy from that meet, that high. That's my best training, is immediately following a meet. So as I get back in there quickly, even if it's just to do some mobility and do some light stuff. If you feel like you will need to take time off, do it. Just now's your time to take care of yourself and set some goals.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, guys, so that was our 3-part series of your first weightlifting meet. Now it's up to you to go do it. Let us know, if you actually do it. If you do your first meet, tag us in your Instagram photo, send us an email, blow up our social media. Like, we want to hear how your first meet went.
Yeah, we want to hear all about it, all the details. Let us know, because it's such a great experience, and we just would like to be a part of that with you.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
You got it.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week.
If you like what you heard today, please help us connect with other female badasses. We would love if you would leave us a review on iTunes. Tell your friends about us. Visit our website, which is empoweredbyiron.com. You can find each of us on Instagram. Mary is at MaryMo_92, and Kristen is at Kristen with an I, Lander. Future topics will include nutrition, programming and training, mental health, and just general female badassery.
Yeah, so let us know what you want to hear. If you have any input, that'd be awesome. And guys, this is Empowered by Iron. We want it to be a resource and an outlet for women who are finding their confidence, their independence, and their strength through iron. So thank you for listening. Thank you for checking in. And until next time, I'm Mary.
I'm Kristen.
And this is Empowered by Iron.